In 1043, a man named Baha al-Din al-Muqtana sealed the Druze faith shut. No new believers, no converts, not temporarily, permanently. The community had already lost its founder, Al-Hakim bi-Amr Allah, who vanished during a nighttime walk near Cairo in 1021. His successor destroyed the movement in Egypt. The survivors fled north into the mountains of the Levant and made a choice: survive by closing the door. Marry only within the group, let no one else in. That decision held for 1,000 years. 40 generations of endogamy in isolated villages across what is now Lebanon, Syria, and Israel. 47% of Druze marriages are still between first cousins, compared to 2.3% among Jewish Israelis in the same country. Nobody was thinking about genetics, they were thinking about survival. But what they were also doing, without knowing it, was sealing a biological archive. Every gene inside those villages on the day the door closed would still be there a millennium later, undiluted by outside populations, preserved by mountain geography and marriage rules that never relaxed. When geneticists finally opened that archive, what they found did not match anything the historians had predicted. For most of the 20th century, the Druze were classified as Arab. Arabic-speaking, living in Arab countries, their religion born from Ismaili Islam in the court of Fatimid Cairo. University of Haifa historian Kais Firo catalogued the range of origin theories: Arameans, Persians, Turks, Samaritans, even the French and the Tibetans, and dismissed most as curiosities. The mainstream position held: the Druze were Arab. The framework was built on language and geography, reasonable tools, but blunt ones. Arabic is a cultural garment. You inherit it from the people you live among, not necessarily the people you descend from. The entire Eastern Mediterranean adopted Arabic after the 7th century conquests. That tells you about politics and prestige. It does not tell you about bloodlines. And the endogamy, the feature that made the Druze genetically extraordinary, was sitting in plain sight for a century, acknowledged by historians, never followed to its biological conclusion. Nobody tested it until 2008. Karl Skorecki, the Technion geneticist who had confirmed the shared Y chromosome of Jewish priests in 1997, assembled a team that included Druze collaborators Fuad Basis and Yaron Hadid. They traveled to 20 villages across northern Israel, sampling 311 households, deliberately choosing different surnames and clan lines to avoid overrepresenting any single lineage. 208 distinct family names. The most comprehensive genetic survey of the Druze ever attempted. The maternal DNA came back extraordinary. 106 distinct mitochondrial haplotypes, passed strictly from mother to child, across a community most geneticists expected to be homogeneous. But the Druze carried lineages that in the rest of the world are separated by entire continents. Haplogroups linked to Europe, Central Asia, North Africa, the broader Middle East, all present in a single community of mountain villagers. The diversity score was 0.979 out of 1, nearly the theoretical maximum. Then there was haplogroup X. This is where the data turned unprecedented. Haplogroup X is one of the rarest mitochondrial lineages on Earth, scattered at low frequencies from Siberia to the Americas. But nowhere in the world has it been found at both high frequency and high diversity in the same population. The fragments exist everywhere. The complete archive does not, except among the Galilee Druze. 39 of 41 haplogroup X individuals came from the Galilee region, carrying sublineages so varied that several had never been classified. The Galilee Druze were not just carrying haplogroup X, they were carrying the complete phylogenetic tree, every branch that everywhere else exists only as scattered leaves. Skorecki's team called the Druze a population genetic refugium, a living museum of what the Near East looked like before the Arab conquests, the Crusades, and the Ottoman migrations reshuffled everything. A separate study confirmed the timeline. Identical by descent analysis detected a roughly 15-fold population bottleneck occurring 22 to 47 generations ago, centered precisely on the founding and sealing of the Druze faith. The religion's birth did not just define a community, it compressed one, and the endogamy preserved the internal diversity through the squeeze. But the paternal DNA told a different kind of story. The dominant Y chromosome haplogroup among Druze men is J2, deeply rooted in ancient Levantine and Anatolian populations, found in Bronze Age remains from the Fertile Crescent. The typically Arabian haplogroup, J1, common among Bedouin and peninsular Arab tribes, appears rarely. The paternal line is not Arab, it is something much older. In 2016, Iran El-Haik at the University of Sheffield pushed the question further. If the Druze were not originally from the Levant, where did they come from? His team used a genetic GPS algorithm, comparing individual genomes against reference populations tied to known geographic regions, and ran genomes of over 150 Druze against the full Near Eastern dataset. The results did not point to Egypt, not to Arabia, not even to the coastal Levant. The proto-Druze signature converged on the mountainous region overlapping northeastern Turkey, southwestern Armenia, and northern Iraq. The Zagros Range, near Mount Ararat. Compared against ancient DNA dated 1,000 to 12,000 years old, Israeli Druze showed roughly 80% ancient Armenian ancestry and only about 15% Levantine ancestry. Their neighbors, Palestinians, Bedouins, Syrians, showed the opposite pattern. The Druze were genetically closer to the Bronze Age Armenians than to the people living in the next valley. A community of 1 million people speaking Arabic for 1,000 years, classified as Arab on every census ever printed, and their DNA belongs to the mountains of Armenia. 3 findings. Lock this in. First, 80% Armenian ancestry is not noise. It is consistent across independent analytical methods. Second, if the Druze were simply local Levantine converts who adopted a new religion, their DNA would mirror their neighbors. It does not. Third, the timing aligns. The last major admixture event between Druze and local populations falls between the 9th and 12th centuries, overlapping precisely with the Seljuk Turkish expansion into the Levant. Highland tribes descending from the Zagros, adopting a new faith and a new language, then sealing themselves inside it. This also explains why Druze and Ashkenazi Jews are unexpectedly close genetically. Both populations trace to the same northeastern Turkish highland corridor, one migrating north into Europe, the other south into the Levant. They met again in modern Israel, neither remembering they had once been neighbors. That connection is something we will come back to in a future video, because the implications run deeper than either population's story alone. The science is not fully settled. El-Haik's GPS methodology has been challenged. Critics argue the reference populations are too coarse for the densely layered Near East, where populations have overlapped for 10,000 years. Skorecki's team frames the story differently, less about where the Druze came from, more about what they preserved. In that reading, the Druze are not a people who migrated from one origin point. They are a vessel that kept everything the ancient Near East contained at the moment the door sealed shut. The staggering diversity of haplogroup X, the rare paternal lineages, the maternal haplotypes spanning continents, all of it preserved not because the Druze came from one special place, but because they kept what everyone else lost through centuries of conquest and mixing. A journey or a jar, possibly both. The practical consequence is already changing healthcare. Because the Druze gene pool is partitioned by clan and village, genetic disease does not follow community-wide patterns. In a single Galilee village, researchers found 4 rare metabolic disorders at carrier rates above 1 in 15, invisible at the population level, devastating at the clan level. Israel's Ministry of Health has begun replacing population-wide screening with clan-specific programs. The Druze gene pool is not one reservoir. It is dozens of separate wells. And now, for the first time since 1043, the seal is loosening. Younger Druze are marrying outside the community at rising rates. The endogeny that preserved 40 generations of Highland DNA is eroding, not through conquest or persecution, but through the accumulated weight of modern life. Education, urbanization, the simple mathematics of a small population in a connected world. What geneticists are racing to document right now is the last legible page of a genetic manuscript that took a millennium to write, and that is now, generation by generation, being overwritten by the ordinary, irreversible decision to marry whoever you love.